everyone, welcome back to JP's Budget Collecting and another little hangout stream. I ended up canceling my indie show this week, so I decided to follow up on something I did last month. So tonight we're gonna be talking about kind of my revised collecting goals, and I keep forgetting to plug in my lights when I'm sitting here getting ready to go live. I'm gonna have the Christmas spirit. What is going on? Maybe plug in. What the heck? I can't. This should not be that hard. It's right there. Where is that? Oh my god. This is good YouTube. There it is. So a couple weeks ago, just before Thanksgiving, I did an update on the 50, which is something I did 2 years ago. My collecting goals. I wanted to really focus on the books I wanted to go after. And basically, I knocked like 29 of those books off the list. And a bunch of the books that were left were not that I don't want them, but weren't really books that I was still really that focused on. Were maybe books that, like, yeah, it'd be nice to have, but I'd rather have these other things, just as my collecting has changed and grown and that kind of stuff. So tonight, this guy suggested, well, you should do an updated list. And so that's what we're doing. We're going to do an updated list. I've bumped it to 25. So we're going to go through those books a little bit here. So, Daymers, you'll have plenty of times for your notepad, plenty of time to get stuff written down. But not that you need to. But anyway, but I know I can stop you guys, so it doesn't really matter. So let's say hello to the people that are hanging out with me so far. We had GT Key hanging out early. He was tailgating. Appreciate it. Daymers is here, as he said, with his notepad. We got Cute Kitty Cat too, saying hello. I am glad you enjoyed the channel. Happy holidays to you. Hopefully things in San Francisco, I assume SF in San Francisco, are great. Things were we were like 80 degrees here today almost in December, which is just crazy for Missouri. But we had like 60-mile-an-hour sustained winds all day. We just finally had a system blow through, like a big thunderstorm system blew through in like 10 minutes. It was moving at like 60 miles an hour. The whole system was. It didn't really do much. It rained, but that was it. But I hope everyone's doing well today. John's hanging out. What is going on, John? Jay Hood, my friend, what is going on? I need to do something with Jay Hood again. We haven't been on a stream together in a while. Need to fix that. Emmanuel, what's going on? Welcome. Knowing your niche goal is important. It does help me with the FOMO that I don't chase some of the crazy stuff. I don't know. John's also got his notepad out. What you did, send it to TJ. TJ knows. 50s this week. Woo. Yeah, we had crazy winds. I think they said the system that's just blowing across the country, like earlier today in Colorado, they clocked 104-mile-an-hour winds, not associated with the tornado, just straight line winds with the system. It has been nuts and super windy today, but I'm on the backside of it now. It didn't really amount to much in terms of rain or thunderstorms down here. I know up toward Iowa, Minnesota, I think it's much more severe than it was here. So, Black Knight, what is going on? Welcome. I'm not planning to talk about the weather, but you guys know how my train of thought just goes wherever sometimes. Chris Creative, what is going on? Welcome. Yeah, wind's been nuts here all day, and so it's a little calmer now that we're on the backside of the thing, but of the main little system. So, all right, gang. Like I said, so I decided to revise and refocus. Originally, it was a 5-year goal. I'm 2 years into that from the 50. GT Key is back in the house. What is going on, man? From tailgating. We got 25 books. I could have easily made this a 50 book again list, but most of the other ones are a little bit smaller. Books that I can kind of pick up without having to really plan and invest in, books I can kind of just get depending on when I find them and that kind of stuff. Not always, but definitely things that are a little more achievable than this list. This is a little bit of the big boys. I thought about making a bigger list, decided against it. Oh, dang. I will say, with the way the wind was blowing today, I'm happy that I got that, even though it cost me a bunch of money. Got that big tree that was like split out of my front yard. So it did not end up on my house today. So that was glad I got that done back in the spring. So anyway, so that's where we're going here. So if you guys remember, like, so where's my, should I had this ready? I'm not ready as usual. This was the original 50. I had already checked off every book that was in my original top 10 from that. I had checked off all but 2 books that were in that original top 20. And then once you got past that, it was a little more, there was a few more openings in the 20 to 30 range. And then not a bunch in that lower 20. Most of those books are not really here anymore, especially this bottom 10. There's a few, but not many. Another thing I'd done is I'd been very generic this whole time. I'm like, I wanted a Golden Age sensation. I wanted Golden Age Batman. I wanted Golden Age sci-fi. I'd added Archie to the list, which I have a Golden Age Archie, mind you. Like I've been very generic, like Golden Age Wonder Woman, these kind of Golden Age Detective. Like I made these very generic ones that were on the list, which I knew I wanted more than one of some of those, and I wasn't very specific. So I will say this list is different, and then I have picked out some specific targets within those categories. I will also say I've cheated. We'll talk about it when we get there. Mainly with the Wonder Woman related stuff, because I'm not necessarily going after keys. I'm picking some covers. So Wonder Woman is actually like, there's 2 spots on the list for sensations. There's 1 spot on the list for Golden Age Wonder Woman. But there's more than one cover, more than one issue associated with each of those lines. There's only 2, but it was kind of like, either or one of these. I want to go after one of these 2, and whichever one I find, and then I'll probably lower the priority on the other one until after I get a bunch of this other stuff lit on here. So that's kind of the way. I do not need a Marvel Superhero 13. That was on my list. That was on my 2021 list, and that was one of the books that I had checked off. It's still here. I've not sent it off to be graded yet, but it is here and has been checked off. Daymares. So I know you ended up having 2 copies. You're talking about that. So are you guys ready for me to start going through this? We're 8 minutes in. I haven't showed you any part of the list yet. So one of the things, I am doing this again, TJ. John, and I felt like I needed to update it because there's several things. There's several new books on here on this 25. There's some things that I've reprioritized. And I'm much more specific now in some of the books I actually want, particularly in the Golden Age stuff, than I was before. So yes. So I'll give you plenty of things to think about and target, even though you shouldn't. So there you go. So I did, one of the categories I'd added, watching my friend, kind of which NYC, Kavi has gotten a bunch of these, and Alex the Comic Order has grabbed a bunch of these, and there's a few other people that collect these. Is Golden Age Archie had been on my list. I have a Golden Age Archie that I snagged. And I put another one on the list. And this one I debated on putting multiple covers. Like I'm going to cheat with, because it's only got 1 spot. But ultimately, I just picked my favorite. I debated long and hard between the one I picked and the Life with Archie one that Kavi has like 3 copies of with them on the milkshake. That probably would be the next one I would go after. But this is the one. I just love this cover. It makes me laugh. So I'm going to pull these up. So this is number 25 on my list of 25. Let's add this guy to the stream. If you're really paying attention, you'll be able to see like the other books here as we go through them. This is Archie Scrolls, Betty and Veronica, number 3 from like 51, early 50s. And this one just makes me laugh. They went through the tunnel of love. Betty made her move. Archie's like clueless. It just, I don't know. There's something about this one that makes me laugh. I really just love this cover. You get both girls on this one. It's just a really funny Archie cover. So this is the one Archie that made my list so far, at least. So, I mean, there's a bunch of them I would love to have, but this is the one that I'm actually going to try to prioritize going after. So we'll see there. So that is the one Archie book on my list. Next at number 24 is one of my cheat locations. There's actually 2 Golden Age Wonder Womans that are listed here. 2 of my favorite covers from this. I already have a golden/early Silver Age Wonder Woman that the Daymares gave me back in the spring. That's one of the reasons one of these covers is on here. I will say there's not as many covers in the early Wonder Woman stuff that I like as much as I do some of those Sensations. But this one just makes me laugh. I love this, her riding the giant seahorse and lassoing underwater. And this is Wonder Woman number 44. He sent me the one where she's like fighting a shark or whatever, but this one, there's something about this cover I just really enjoy. The purple seahorse, the whole thing. Really enjoy this. So in this slot, it's either this one or the other one I'm prioritizing is 41, which is maybe my favorite of the early Wonder Woman covers of that first 50-ish. I don't know why I like the yellow cover, her like with the door and the detective. I don't know. It's just a cool cover. So those are the 2 kind of Wonder Woman books I think I'm going to prioritize. I'd love to have this one that the picture of is with the date stamp. That would be sweet, but I don't think I'll find that particular one. But given that it was sold on Heritage, where I stole the image from. But yeah. So this is a cheat. This is number 24 spot. So one of those 2 I'm going to try to track down. TJ's always taking notes, and I always make it easy for him. So I'm the easiest one. Yeah, but obviously probably won't get a date stamp, but I do just love this cover. So that's number 24. Number 23 on my list of books is Detective Comics 369. This one's probably a smaller book when you really think about it compared to most of the other books on here. This is like her 3rd or 4th appearance, but the first time that Barbara and Dick team up. So this is that's why I kind of want this book. Plus I like this cover. So I think this is still her 3rd appearance. Maybe it's her 4th appearance. I forget now. But just a first time they team up, definitely a book that I want to add to my collection. It's been on my list all through the 50 and everything. Still there. As is the next one at 22, which is her 2nd appearance. Definitely another book that's been on my list the whole time that I need to add and grab a nice copy of at some point. So, and then the last book in the 20s is a book that's really moved down my list. I almost debated not putting it on the list for a couple of other things, which is, it was in my top 20 originally. It is a cover I love, but I think John has contaminated me. I no longer like. He does. He does. Plug nickel. I don't know. It's something saying, is it on the thing? Yeah. Some saying from that time, apparently. And that is Batman 251, classic Neil Adams Joker cover. I do love this cover, but something about just the overuse of the Joker recently. The Joker is just like, I don't know. I have less interest in him, and that has caused this cover to kind of slip on my list of Batman books. John is, yeah. Daymare is already plotting to get TJ again, I'm sure. But still a book I want. It just continues to kind of just slide down. Other books just keep moving ahead of it. And so we'll see. Hopefully I'll snag one at some point. But definitely still on the list. Still something I want. So those are 25 through 21. Moving into the top 20 is a book that originally I wasn't that big on, that I wasn't going to do it. And then I kind of decided, I think, did it make the 30? I forget now when I did my revision before. It did not. It did not. And at this point, it's kind of the only book of this character I'm really missing that's kind of a key in any way. Daymare is just really trying to anger TJ at the moment. Oh, he's really trying to mess with TJ. Neil Adams is overrated. TJ's gonna get you, man. So, and that is the What If Jane Foster Had Found the Hammer of Thor. What If number 10. Originally, I don't really consider this the first Jane as Thor. It is kind of a what if thing. They call her a different name. But it is kind of the only Jane Foster book I'm really missing at this point. And so this one is probably lower on my priority list of the 25. We'll wait till the movie comes and goes, probably, so that we get kind of a. I'll do a recap at the end, Emery, for sure. You won't get blocked. Yeah. Jaya is also going to get him for the Neil Adams joke. I don't know. I have her first appearance. I have the God of Thunder 25, the Thor 1, the Thor 2. I have almost a complete run of all her as Thor. I'm missing a couple books in there, but nothing like none of the major keys or anything. There's a couple books from that first Thor run that I'm missing. Says, yeah, don't buy that one. So I'll get it at some point, but yeah, we're not gonna like rush out with the movie coming up for sure. We'll take our time on that one. But it did make the list. It was the one that I'm missing. A book that had not been on my list, kind of because of how much it goes for, kind of because I hadn't really cared that much about the character. Like I enjoyed the character, but she was not one of my favorite characters, but has grown on me through the MCU. And then this current run of her series, which I've absolutely loved, has put this book back on my radar. The fact that she's post MCU, and it's already, we're getting into the lull already. We're already seeing the lull. Tales of Suspense 52, the first Black Widow. Prices are coming down on this book. Scarlett Johansson's done with the MCU, it appears at this point, at least as a character. I'm just gonna ignore that comment and we keep moving. So definitely looking for like, still gonna have to be super low grade on this one. But I think they're coming down to a point where I can actually get a low grade presentable copy. And this current run of Black Widow, the comics, have made me just like have a new appreciation for Natasha, a new appreciation for Yelena that I really never had in the comics before. It's definitely more about the comics than the MCU stuff, but obviously I was more interested because of the MCU and actually read that book. But yeah, this book is now on the list, another female first that I've decided I'm going to try to go after. So definitely one of the bigger books on my list in terms of value. Yeah, these are all, for the most part, these are all going to be big boys. This is the big boy list. Notice I gave myself 4 more years. I added a year from the original 3 years that were left on my 50. I added a year. We'll see if I can pull this off. This may be overly ambitious, particularly this book and the next book, which is ASM 15. So I want this book for all the wrong reasons. Like, Kraven is a good character. He's a solid character. That's why this book is so expensive. But this is also the first mention of MJ. And I want to like kind of complete my Mary Jane stuff. I'm very close to having all the Mary Jane like keys. I'm going to try to make it happen. Again, this is going to be definitely in the low grade, better than no grade in order to make this happen. And it's so weird. I want it for the side key, but it's the first time she's mentioned. I'm so close to like having all of her other like early appearance. They spread her appearance out over so many books. I'm so close to having it all. Yeah, so we're going to try it. So Gore Vidal mentions Amazing Spider-Man 86. A book I would love to have. It did not make this list. Like, as I said beforehand, I could have easily went back to 50. I could have easily made a 50 book list again. I'm focusing on these 25 for now. That's a book that is reasonable enough, or well, it used to be reasonable enough that I might be able to stumble across that and not have to like prioritize it necessarily. Probably if I update this list, it would have a decent shot at getting there, especially if I actually have gotten the Tales of Suspense 52 at that point. I do love that cover. I do love that cover. That is a great early ASM cover. So, yeah, there's a lot of most of my renters have showed up, so that's for sure. One will be done by March. One of the ones already, like all the stuff you've talked to me about, told me to avoid. I haven't even talked about yet. Anyway. Thanks, Jimmy. I appreciate you stopping in. So yeah, we're gonna try to. I'm already at 20 minutes. I need to pick up the pace a little bit here. So this is gonna be forever. All right. So yeah. So another book that's on the bigger end. Next book is a book that has jumped a ton on me. I'm still gonna try to get a good copy. X-Men 129. This is the first Kitty Pryde, first Emma. So if you know me and I'm not like John. I'm not like a huge X-Men fan, but I do enjoy the X-Men. Hey, Vinny, what is going on? Welcome. And my favorite X-Men characters outside of X-23, who is like, who NYX is the most recent book that I picked up, her first appearance. My other favorite X-Men characters all first appear, like the other top 6 characters all first appear in 2 books. Giant Size, which is just a book that I'm not even like thinking about chasing at this point. And this book, 129. So all my favorite X-Men characters come in those 2 books. They're the biggest books for me. At some point I may try to like do the Giant Size, but I may not. I may just never mess with it. I don't know. This one I am definitely going to go after. And it is definitely on the list. Yeah, definitely a Mega Claremont key. I mean, realistically, my top 3. Well, there was 3 or 4. Probably Kurt is probably 3. So it's like, but it's Kitty, it's Storm, it's Kirk, Laura, Colossus, and Emma are my top 6 favorite X-Men. So all of them are in those other 2 books, plus the one I got. This one currently I'm looking with prices around an 8.5, something like that. We'll see what prices do. They've come back a little bit. We'll see how far they come back. For sure. I'm not gonna be super picky depending on the deal and what I can find. But I'd like a nice, at least very fine. It's not that old a book. I don't really want a super beat copy, but sometimes it's what you can afford. So Dave Maris is asking me what grade. All right, so that is number 17 on my list. Number 16 on my list. No, Scott sucks. Scott is the worst X-Men character. I despise Scott. Xavier's not far above him on the list. Oh yeah, 9-0 would be great. Stop it. Next, Detective Comics 411, first Talia. Really the only femme fatale Batman character I'm missing at this point. Well, I'm missing first Catwoman, obviously, but I have a bunch of Catwoman keys. And there's several on this list as we get further up the list. But like I have first Ivy, have first Harley. So of the 4, it's Selena, it's Talia, it's Ivy, it's Harley. Like this is the one I really still need to get. So this is definitely one that is on my list that I want to track down. Yeah, definitely. And I'm, League of Assassins, the Roz book. Those would be, again, other books I considered, but just didn't make my list. Talia definitely didn't make the list right now. Next, speaking of Catwoman, Detective Comics 211. This is her. So I have her first appearance of the Silver Age. This is her last appearance of the Golden Age. So that is why this book made the list. So I want to kind of get those two bookends for sure. So this is the last time that she appeared before she disappeared for 12 years. So definitely another book I want to get to kind of complete, not really complete, but like keep working on my Catwoman collection. Yeah, Emery's asked about, collecting the chicks. When I got back into collecting, I really started focusing on, and I have for the most part, focusing on like female keys, like Marvel and DC, mostly because they were a lot more affordable than the male characters' keys. A lot more affordable, much more in my price range. They still are, although that has changed a little bit. That has changed along with everything else, is they have gotten a lot more appreciation, but I still definitely chase a bunch of those. I'm not sure I know which book that is, TJ. I'll be honest. The first Neal Adams Catwoman. I don't know that I know which book that is. So you'll have to educate me. So, because I do not. That's not when she's in like she's in like the green costume and then the black and red thing. And she has some weird costumes, but that should be before Neal, I would think, because Neal would have been bronze for Batman. So, I get that. I totally get that, J Hood. They're easy to get compared to some of the other books. There's a lot of them out there, definitely. So I can get why you've kind of slowed down on that. I've gotten a lot of ASM. I'm way further along on my ASM books that were like main books than I am on some of my Batman stuff. So this is a little heavier Batman than it had been. Another book that I didn't even really know about until just recently. Oh, no, this is the wrong one. This is Batman 62. This one I didn't know about. Another Golden Age Catwoman appearance. This is actually also her origin. So, yeah, this is a big book. Be a little tougher to get than that 211, but definitely another Batman cover. Batman 210. I need to write that down. Otherwise, I will forget. Batman 210 first Neal Catwoman. Okay. So this is her origin. Another book I would love to try to track down. One of the bigger Golden Age Batman books that I'm going to go after. The other Batman Golden Age Catwoman book I'm going after is 35. She is not on the cover of this. This is actually the oldest. This would be the earliest of the Batman books on my list. Actually, last of the Batman books actually on my list right now. And this is the first time she appears in the classic purple costume, which I didn't even know this is what that book was. This is the book. Told Jimmy the Geek Aficionado got this book not too long ago and told me about it. So definitely one that is now on my list. For sure. All right. Where we at? That was at 13. Then we got a few Star Wars books, which would put Unruly to sleep if he was here. J Hood asking TJ a question. Who that here? Yeah, we're 30 minutes in, and I'm on 13 of the 25 books that I'm my new list. Number 12, Star Wars 42. Again, this is another one I'm going to be super patient on. Like with Boba Fett coming out, this is really bad timing on this, but a book I will definitely go after at some point. But another one of those, kind of like that Jane Foster book that I'm just going to be super patient on. Next, Star Wars number 2. I have one. Star Wars number 2 is the Obi-Wan Chewbacca Han first appearance. Definitely need to add that to my collection as well. I'm poor, man. It takes me a long time. It's only 25 bucks. Some of these are big. It's going to be a stretch to get all of these in 4 years for sure. But we're going to do the best we can. So I know, like my original 50 was a 5-year list. And it doesn't look like I'm getting, well, I recently went for a promotion at work, didn't get it, which means it's probably, and based on the other things I'd go for, it's going to be a while. So yeah, I'm going to have pretty much the same budget for a while. So it's going to be hard to get some of these, but we're going to keep working. So that is number 11. I have some books. I do need to move some books at the moment. And I am working toward that. I have definitely been improving on that for sure, making the collection pay for itself. So, but you got to have funds in order to buy stuff to sell stuff, and so we're working. We've definitely improved. It's definitely helped us. The books I have been selling. Next, this is another one. Gosh, I kick myself every day for not buying it when I could have. For being like, oh, it'll be there. And now it's a freaking monster. I am definitely not looking for like a 9.8 or 9.6 or probably not even a 9.4 of this thing. Hopefully at some point I can make this happen. We'll see. Yeah. So first Ahsoka, we'll see. This is number 10 on my list. I really would love to have this book. Kick myself for going, oh, $60? That's too high 2 years ago. Blech. Just the cover, but he designed the costume. There you go. Yeah, I will not be spending $2K on any book. None of these. Like, a lot of these are presentable, like, especially the Golden Age stuff is just copy. I'm happy. Give me a 0.5. I don't care. So there you go. I am definitely low grade, better than no grade on some of these for sure. So next, the book that's been on my list for a while. I have not managed to pull the trigger. I may have a line on one of these. So we'll see. That may happen maybe this spring. We'll see if we can get this pulled together. I'm going to have to move a couple of books and stuff between now and then. But Marvel Spotlight, number 32, first Spider-Woman. I got most of my female Spider first appearances. I got MJ, I got Gwen, I got Silver Sable, I got Black Cat, I got the newer Spider-Girl, I got the second Spider-Woman, the Julia Carpenter, I got, I think that's most of them. So anyway, I have most of the female characters around. Peter, this is one that I don't have yet. I have obviously Spider-Woman number 1. We can talk. I know I'm also like, maybe Jimmy and I had talked about a book, maybe a copy. So we'll see. I'll see what grade you have and what you're thinking, who dat. But it's going to be just a little bit. I got to get through the holidays. Like every time I start to get caught up, check engine light came on my truck, so I got to pay for that. I got to get that fixed. Like right at Christmas, it's like, oh, even with the collection paying for itself. Trade or cast. I might have a book. Maybe we can see. We'll figure something out. Maybe. So we can definitely talk. Next up, another book. This one I know exactly where I'm getting my copy from. Maybe the first book I buy of 22, depending on when it comes back. It is currently, the person I'm getting it from, it currently has it at CGC. So we're just waiting for this one to come back, but it is still on the list. We have not finalized that deal yet. ASM 122. I got 121 last year. Got to get 122 and finish off that pair for sure. And then, so that is number 8. And another one that I'm definitely going to move on hopefully soon. ASM 43, the other MJ book I'm kind of missing. I know CGC says this is her first appearance. I disagree. She speaks, she's named, like she's shown to me. 42 is definitely her first appearance. It's the iconic book to me, the jackpot book. But this is she's in the full book here. So I do need to go on and get this checked off the list. Another one that I waited and should have tried to do sooner. Number 6 on my list, Hawkman. Number 4, First Zatanna. Another character I just need to get. My grade on this one is continuing to back up. What I'm willing to accept continues to get lower, but that's okay. Just want at this point, nice presentable copy. Maybe like a 3-ish. We'll see what we can make happen there. Yeah. 33. Oh, 33 is the that's one like that if I ever like once I get past some of the keys, 33 is definitely a ASM cover I would love to have. I can understand that. A lot of my funds right now have been a lot of everything has been house and car and everything else. You find one, good luck. I think you're yeah. If you can find her first appearance of her dad and for a good price, then that'd be a heck of a steal. Next, Teen Titans 60. This is first time they used the word Teen Titans. You guys know I'm a big Titans Dick Grayson fan, big Wonder Woman fan. I'm a big fan of Donna. I feel like they've kind of mistreated her in the comics in the recent years. They've kind of mistreated her like by not including her in some of the shows and stuff they've done, which drives me nuts. But this is definitely one probably prioritizing for sure in 22. And really toward the top of my list, along with if you're going to go for that one, you got to get this one. This is one that's been on my list for a while. And another one that probably gonna like these are two that I'm gonna prioritize in 22. So at that point, I only got 3 spots left on my 25, but I'm in back to cheating. So if you remember right, I just generically put Sensation Comics, like I wanted the Golden Age Sensation Comics on my list, and there's a ton of them that I would love to have. But I kind of picked out my 4 favorite. My goal is to try to, like, during this period to get at least 2 of these 4. These are not necessarily cheaper ones, although they're not. Well, 2 of them are a little more expensive than the other 2. That's why I have them paired the way I do. So first up, I'm hoping to get one of these 2. First is Sensation 70. I just love this whole concept of her blocking a cannonball with her bracelets. Like there's just something about I like the red, I love the blue banner, but the whole like I'm drawn more to the ones where she's doing like feats of strength, for sure. And this one where she's like blocking the cannonball with her bracelets, just it cracks me up. I love this cover. Jay Hood talking about that he loves that Brave and the Bold 60. Yeah, but this Sensation 70, I just love this book. So this one and or the other one that like I want to try to track down one of these 2 is obviously the homage to Action number 1, number 51, with her picking up the car with the gangsters in it. Yeah, that's so one of those 2. Those are 2 of my favorite Sensations covers. So the goal would be one of those 2 over this period. And then the other 2 books, and we're getting bigger, are going to be a little harder. Are going to be a lot harder. Who am I kidding? To hopefully get one of these other 2. The other 2 in the next spot. Probably her stopping the train. Sensation 26. Just love this cover. Again, like I said, the feats of strength are some of my favorite ones. This is a tough one to get. This would be like super low grade if I got it, but definitely one that's kind of on the target list. And then the other Sensation that I'm going to target is my favorite Sensation cover. And it's not a feat of strength. I don't know why it's my favorite cover from these books, but it is. I just love the Jeep, like Sensation 20. I don't know. I just really enjoy that cover with her using the lasso to kind of make the Jeep float, or I'm not exactly sure what's going on there, but just a fun kind of a war cover. Like the other 2 war covers I really consider, but they're so expensive. Yeah, we'll see. Like again, I don't know. I may be way more ambitious. I decided to be super ambitious with this and not just it's like I hate to see your 30 to 40 list. By then I hope to be all but done. I'll be honest. Like there's there's a bunch of, like I said, I could have easily made the list 50, but you get much beyond that. And I don't know that I'm gonna go too much further. I'll be honest. If I have like these guys, this may be done. I'm hoping. I'm hoping. Nice top 23. Yeah, I don't know that I can. Like I said, these two 20 getting either 20 or 26 may be next to impossible. We'll see. We're gonna see what happens. You're not gonna find some of these on eBay for sure. You're not. I'm definitely gonna have to save up, and yeah, you're talking looking at auctions and other stuff. And I don't know. This may, like I said, these may or may not happen. Find somebody else. Maybe get something to trade them. I'd have to trade them a bunch of stuff. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm trying to sell more. I'm definitely trying to sell more. And then number one book on my list. And I just literally passed on this book because it was so low grade. Like so low grade. It was just beat the heck. And there's another one, but it's a little high for what they've been going for. I'll get a bunch of them. TJ, you do not need to be going after a bunch of these, that's for sure. Man Cave, yeah, Man Cave had to. I don't know if you got this one back yet or not, Man Cave. I know you had one and traded it. But yeah, I just love, this is my favorite one, for sure. Time and money. Yeah, the money is going to be the part. We'll see if we can make it work. And then I just passed on one of these because it was just so beat up. It had hole punches. It had chunks out of it. I just couldn't bring myself to pay quite for that. I want a little more presentable copy. There's actually a really presentable copy, but it has a full spine split and is a little high currently out there. If you don't know what this is Star Spangled Comics number 65. This is the first time. Would you be happy with, like most of these? I just want presentable. Like I'm happy with like, what do I have, a 1.8 of that Catwoman 42 or Batman 42, like Golden Age stuff. Like I'm happy with like 1s, 2s. I just want it presentable. And the one I passed on of this had some major chunks out of it. It had hole punches. It had pretty big of a spine split. It was a little too ugly for me. It was just a little too. Oh, you did get it back. I thought you did. I couldn't remember for sure, but this is Star Spangled 65. This is the first Robin on his own. I think he has a solo story like before this in Batman. Like as one of the like in story, or maybe it was Detective. I forget now. It's on my list here somewhere. It's on one of these lists. No, I'm looking. Yeah, it's in Detective, like in a backup story in Detective. He has a solo story in Detective that's before this, but this is his kind of first comic where they put him on the cover. He had his own storage. So this Star Spangled 65, it's still a relatively cheap book for a Golden Age and what it is. Like there's been a couple I've missed out on in the last year that went for really reasonable prices. Again, I'm not looking for high grade. I want complete and presentable. That's really what I'm going after. I appreciate that. It'll probably be a while before I can do some of these, but we'll see. But this is the number one book on my list. This is probably the closest I'll ever get to like a first Dick Grayson. This his first kind of really solo book. So that's where we're going. So that is the 25 books. I am probably being way overly ambitious for me, even giving myself 4 years. But that's it. So good grief, we're at 45 minutes. So we're going to do a real quick recap of this. So let's just scroll to the end. For anybody that's coming in here, would I be happy with a 5.0? I don't know what you're talking about. 5.0 of what? Like I'd be happy with a 5.0 of like any of those, most of those Silver Age books, let alone a Golden Age book, TJ. I don't know where you're, yeah. So real quick recap for anybody that joined late. 25th book on my list, the only Archie book on my list, but I do love a bunch of these Golden Age Archies, but I love this Betty and Veronica number 3. I just think it's hysterical. I love it. To me, it's everything that what Archie has been for the whole time. He's chasing Veronica, Betty's chasing him, Veronica's on again, off again. I just, like, to me, the first of the 3 spots where I cheated, where it's an either or. My Golden Age Wonder Woman 44 or 41. Those are my two favorite Wonder Woman covers from the pre-50 that are within any kind of region that I could snag. Tech 369. The third or fourth Batgirl, but the first time her and Dick team up. So that is definitely on my list. 363, her second appearance. Batman 251, classic Neil Adams Joker cover. At number 21. Number 20, the What If Jane Foster. Thor. It's really the only kind of Jane Foster book I'm missing at this point. Tales of Suspense 52, a book I never really thought about why she was active in the MCU. Now that she's gone and the book is coming down, definitely one I'm going to try to get in the lull. I was going to say, well, I was showing Golden Age books when that comment came up. That's why I was like, what? Well, you had me you frighten me sometimes, TJ, that you do things and have grades of things that I would not comprehend. So yes, you frighten me. So ASM 15, which I went for all the wrong reasons. Everybody wants this book because of Craven. I want this because it's the first time they mentioned MJ. So there you go. X-Men 129, First Kitty and Emma. Detective Comics 411, First Talia. Detective Comics 211, the last Golden Age Catwoman before she goes on hiatus for 12 years. Batman 62, Origin of Catwoman. Oh, Jesus. What are you doing? I better not get a tracking number before the end of the night. I probably will now. Oh, God, grief. Batman 35, first time Catwoman wears the purple costume. Some of these Golden Age things, I think I'm nuts, but we're being specific. Oh, I know. I'm not in a hurry on that Tales of Suspense. I know it's starting into the lull, and I am definitely just going to keep an eye out as we go forward. It's kind of where I'm at on that one. And just see as it continues to decrease with her no longer being in the consciousness. Star Wars 42, Star Wars number 2, first Han, Chewie, and Obi-Wan is the 11th book on my list. Top 10, Clone Wars number 1. Marvel Spotlight 32 for Spider-Woman. Scroll. ASM 122, I already pretty much have a deal done for this one, but when it gets back from CGC, we haven't finalized exactly, but I kind of know where this is going to be. So I know where my copy of this one's coming from. ASM 43. CGC says first MJ. I think it's the second, but I need to have it anyway. So Hawkman number 4 for Satana. Raven the Bold number 60. Raven Bold number 54. Then one or the other of Sensation number 70 or Sensation 51. And then one or the other of Sensation 26 or 20. Those I may be like delusional. I'll be honest, I may be delusional on some of these. And then last but not least, Star Spangled Comics number 65, first Robin solo book kind of thing. I know there's other stories in these books, but this is kind of him and his own thing. So definitely one that I want to track down. So that is it. I'm crazy. I don't know that I'm going to be able to pull this off. But I know who that's like 4 years. Yeah, I think it's going to take every bit of 4 years for me to get close, even trying to sell, doing a little more selling and slabbing and selling and trying to move some books. I'm just not as enthusiastic as some of you guys are about doing that. I'm trying to do it a little more, but we're coming up on the hour. I did not plan on this going an hour. So I've given TJ and Daymare's plenty of fodder to know better, but thank you, Man Cave. I appreciate it. But I really wanted to, like, after I'd done my 2-year update and as much of the list and as much of what was left of the 50 that really wasn't accurate anymore, I wanted to update it, and I wanted to get more specific in some of my goals on sensations and Batmans and detectives specifically. So I think I did that. Cowabunga, White Tiger. I may be completely insane, but we're gonna give it a go. We'll see what happens over the next couple of years. Hopefully, and I'll be honest, I checked these off. I mean, there's some other books I really that I do want that aren't on here that are smaller. But I'll be like, I might be close to all but done. I'll be honest. If I could check these books off, I'm sure there'll be other things that I'll want, but like, yeah, I would have a collection beyond anything I would have ever dreamed of. So we'll see if we can make it happen. Thank you guys. I appreciate you guys watching, hanging out with me in my delusions. We'll see what happens. Hopefully you'll come along for a bunch of this journey, and I'm going to get out of here. Thanks, guys. Again, wrong thing.